Hopefully, everyone is having a great weekend so far. Now, before we get into the show, I really do want to thank all my subscribers. I really do appreciate you guys tuning in on this beautiful Sunday afternoon to get Eric's Sunday's best picks going into the week. Now, if you're not a subscriber, please go ahead and do so. I think you're really going to get a lot of valuable information from my technical analysis. All right, with that said, I do have the spiders up here on the board. As you know, as you can see, we had a really nice week. We gapped up 2 or 3 times, and now where are we going to go from here? So, guys, we're in this kind of no man's land, I'd like to call it. We're way above this 10-day moving average, the 50-day moving average. I really love the way it's gapped the last 3 or 4 trading days. Especially with everything that's going on geopolitically and all the elections. So now what? A lot of that information now is being digested by the market. Now we can go either way, right? Obviously, now we could come back down and retest the value area high in that 50-day moving average, which to me seems the most natural place the market wants to go to retest this because there's going to be a lot of support right here. Or we can gap up again and start hitting this upper Bollinger Band here in the next couple of days, and then obviously make new 52-week highs. All right, so be very careful. If you see a gap down, don't be too nervous. Again, watch these major support levels right here where that value area high, and that's 340 on the spider ETF. And then obviously this is going to be a dynamic moving average right here, that 10. So before you see anything, you may want to see it may want to come back down and retest this whole area where that 10 and that 50 will eventually meet. But then again, you never know what the market wants. It may want to do. Again, it may want to gap up on Monday and then start challenging that 52-week high. All right, with that said, let me go ahead and give you my 3 best picks going into Monday. Now, I had a really tough time finding some good stocks just because the ones that I did like, they were so close to earnings either on Monday and Tuesday. And even though trade location was going to be really good, if I would have given those out, with earnings right around the corner and these names, I didn't feel comfortable doing so. So the stocks that I am going to choose for you, or I'm going to suggest on the show, are ones with earnings already past us and a lot of information's already been digested. Now, the first one that that I'm going to give you is one that we've played in the past, and it's going to be AQST. All right, guys. So if you remember, we've played this, and we had a beautiful profit in this one. We had gotten long here right around that under that $5 mark and went all the way up to almost $10. I thought it was going to break above that 10, but then I think the market knew that there was some bad information, and it started some bad news rather, and then it started to sell off and couldn't make that higher high. And I figured that was a really bad sign. We were so close, and then on that second push above that, trying to get above that $10, it failed. Right, and the stock started, acting a little differently, and I got out, and luckily I did because this gap down. Okay, now what? Well, it's been about 2 or 3 weeks since that gap down, and now we're trading above that 200-day moving average and that 10-day moving average. We're not here at that 50, and I usually like when the 10, the 50, and the 200 are all are aligned up correctly in that pattern. But this one seems like where that risk reward setup is really nice. So if you haven't been in this name and you've been watching it and you're thinking about taking a position, I think this is a great trade location. And if you remember, my whole thing is about trade location, right? Knowing when to get in, why you're getting in, and knowing your stop out price. And I think this is a great spot for that, right? Because, the earnings came out, the market digested that information. It did gap up a little bit on that news, as you can see. And now what, right? Well, we're above the 10. We're hitting that upper Bollinger Band. We're above this point of control. So to me, this is a great entry to get into the name and then use that 200-day moving average or a close below that 200-day moving average as you're out. Okay, guys, that is AQST. Be a buyer on Monday above that Friday's high, and then use that 200-day moving average as your stop price, any close below that. Okay, guys, AQST. Second stock that looks really good, one that we've played, well, we didn't play, we had mentioned it back here, is the SPE, Switchback Energy. If you remember correctly, after making that 52-week high, I was watching it, and then it bounced a few times above this 50-day moving average, and I said, look, anytime you can, get into this name, and then a close below that 50-day moving average would be your out. And if you did do that, I think you're getting paid really, really well right now with the name. Now what? Well, we had that nice gap on Friday. Peaked its head way above here, above this value area high. It is a little overextended. It's hitting that upper Bollinger Band, but don't be worried about that. These names, especially these momentum plays, usually can go in this overbought situation for a very long time. There's very little inventory above this. So if you see if that whole EV market, your workhorses, your Teslas, your Neos and Nikolas, moving higher, this one will probably move with those names. Okay, so watch that very carefully. Again, if you do get into this name, you gotta actually put a really I wouldn't want to say a tight stop. You got to be real liberal with your stop because your 10-day moving average is all the way down here at 1428, and then your 50-day moving average is right down all the way down here in that 1350 mark, right down there. Okay, guys. So again, watch this. If this can get above Friday's high on Monday, this will probably run. There's very little inventory, and watch this make a new 52-week high. Okay, that is SBE. Last and probably my most favorite pick for the week is going to be CDE, and that's because if we take a look, it's in that mining sector. We had, which is extremely hot right now. You could see with gold and Freeport and all these names hitting 52-week highs. This one came out with earnings last a couple of weeks ago. So again, we're hitting that upper Bollinger Band. Again, these can run for a while when we start hitting this upper Bollinger Band. Now the 10 is moving above that 50, and once we do that, those three moving averages will be in line for a bullish pattern, right? We'll have the 10 over the 50 and then the 50 over the 200, guys. And we're very close of taking out that 52-week high, and there's very little inventory above us, which means there's not going to be that headwind at any pop where people are going to want to sell. They're going to want psychology of trading as they're going to see that 52-week high and they want to get that taken out. All right, so that is CDE. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. My name is Eric, and you can reach me either at eric@valueareatrader.com or just by leaving a comment down below right there on YouTube. All right, guys, if you're not a subscriber, please go ahead and do so. Again, I think you'll get some great valuable information from my technical analysis, and then you could probably make a little bit of money doing so. All right, everyone, have a great weekend. We will see you Monday after the close, and have a great remainder of the weekend. And remember to trade smart and be safe.